Okay, and today we are going in live with Vanmati Jagan.
Hi.
The conversations with Kate. I am absolutely happy, honored, and grateful to have Vanmati on my show. Vanmati, welcome. Are you able to hear me?
Thank you. Yes, you're loud and clear. Yeah.
Not able to see you though.
But my video is clear. Is it okay now?
I'm not able to see
I'm having my
signal at all.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Hi.
Okay, wait.
Okay, you're able to hear me? Is there lag?
Yeah. Now it's okay, but a little before there was a lag.
Okay, super. So let me do that introduction again. Vanakkam, Vandanam, and welcome to the Laughing Dance Story. I am Special K, and we are so happy and grateful to have Vanmati Jagan on our show today. Thank you so much for joining Vanmati. How are you doing?
Thank you, Kavita. I'm doing very fine and with a lot of energy now from the way you introduced. So even more better.
Okay. How was your day today?
It was a good day actually. I got to start a new class with a new bunch of people. So I think it's a good day with work. Also, even otherwise, I think it's a good day. We need to count blessings in today's times as long as we are healthy and safe inside our homes.
Absolutely right. Yeah. So I didn't give much introduction about who you are. So maybe would you like to tell our audience here and those who are going to be listening on the podcast who you are and what is your background and why you do what you do?
Exactly. So hi everybody, thank you for joining us for this conversation. As Kavita introduced me, I'm Vanmati Jagan. When I introduce myself, I have multiple things to say because I am somebody who's always been a person of many interests. So though I studied something else in college, I eventually ended up pursuing Bharatanatyam for a longer period of time in my life. I started learning Bharatanatyam at the age of 10 and I still continue. I continued it until a little time back, in full practice. Right now, in practice. So for almost 20 years, I have been in practice with Bharatanatyam, which eventually introduced me to theatre, stage theatre. I learned from my teachers, Ranjit and Srimati Vijna. And then when I went into theatre, I worked with Magic Lantern under director Praveen and Preeti Atreya in Chennai, of course. So I was very, very lucky when I started off in theatre. I got the opportunity to be part of the huge Broadway classical production, Ponniyin Selvan. So I was part of the play for 2.5 years. I've done every single role in that play, from doing costumes to just being a singer, a dancer, and I've also done the female lead roles. So that play introduced me to theatre, and I really tasted what I resonate with from my co. And then there was some bad situations in life, so I had to quit performing for a while, which gave me a path to pursue training. And I took to corporate training 4 years back. And I fell in love with that job because it was not very different from being a performer. I always had an audience in front of me. And the only difference was I was not playing any character, nor I was holding anything in my body, but I was just being myself, conveying my thoughts, which gave me a new high because I had not experienced that as a dancer or somebody from theatre. I had not expressed myself completely as who I was. So training gave me that opportunity to convey my thoughts, and when it is received by another person, especially bunches and bunches of audience who are much more experienced than me, so that gave me a new sense of confidence. So I can say in short, I'm a dancer who slowly evolved into the medium of theatre and corporate training. And yes, now even in training, I'm moving into a niche space where I work with movement, sound, and stories. And very recently, I curated my own workshop called Meyunar. The name is in Tamil, Meyunar. May means body, and May also means truth in Tamil. Mayina, udalum sari, unmai, rendume it means. So Unar is to realize, and I kept this name because my workshop primarily works on people's bodies in response to sound and in response to stories. So I work to find physical alignment through which I help people find inner alignment. So the workshop also gives a sense of emotional release. It also gives body confidence and drawing stories from your own life and how you embrace it all over back again. The workshop is about all of that. And this idea is, so this workshop is an amalgamation of whatever made me who I am today. So it's a combination of dance, it's a combination of theater, and it's also it's in the mode of training. So it's all of it together.
So yeah, I'm sure you would definitely flow through it, and you'll be in your total high flow state, because this is something that is so close and personal to you. You've been a dancer all your life. You've been a performer. So when you get on, doing that, I think you take on a different role altogether. And yeah, you're just there. And when you're there, when you're there, everybody else will be able to tap into that frequency as well, I'm sure, and experience the magic that is. I like something that you said, during a very short telephonic conversation, that this mind conditioning is not really for people who have gone through traumas or those who have had some kind of mental health challenges, or usually this kind of workshops are catered and geared towards them. Now you brought a different perspective. It's for healthy people, to have an inner reflection. So please explain a little bit more about that, Divya.
Sure. Actually, that whole thought itself arose when I went through it. For example, this whole idea of therapy and looking for therapy, relief, and healing yourself. All this people see in the context of, if there is some disability or children with regard to, who have any disorders from birth and the madrina. But I feel it's so required for any normal person. Each one's life has some challenge which they struggle to overcome, or there is some hurt which they can struggling to, forgive and free themselves from. எல்லா நார்மல் பர்சன் வாழ்க்கையிலும் ஏதோ ஒரு சேலஞ்ச் அவங்க they struggle to overcome, accept, and when they release it from their system, they will experience a new sense of freedom. And that when I was going through a struggle which I couldn't cope with, it was art which saved me. It was certainly theatre, it was certainly dance which kept me alive and going, and I would say dance, theatre and yoga, all three together gave me the right perspective, because I had the right gurus who led me through the tough time. So art forms have a beautiful, art for art's sake irkalam, yes, but it has a whole dimension on the other side. It can really alter your whole being and can shift you into another zone. But at the conscious of another, it happens. You need to do it with that intention. So when I went through a difficulty and when art was saving me, pull through those times, that's when I realized art has so much more meaning to it than just being on stage. And it will with some problem or some serious mental disorders or anything. It's for any normal person. Ella girls go, everybody in today's lifetime has some stress, something. You won't believe, a person who I knew very well in my social circle at 38, he passed away this morning. I mean, he was hale and healthy, energetic, very motivated. Nothing was wrong with him. I don't know what I think would have killed him. Is just stress. I don't know, the stress of, being a successful person in every walk, every aspect of your life, even your social life, your personal life, your professional life. I think he just overburdened himself at 38. I don't know what kills. So everybody is struggling to prove a point or something or other troubles. Everybody. Okay. So we need to focus on ourselves and find a channel through which we can release these struggles, so that we are constantly back to our own spirits. When we are a child, we would have experienced that spirit, right? We need to retain that childlike spirit which we had. And அதை கான்ஷியஸா ஒர்க் பண்ணா மட்டும்தான் அந்த childlike spirit கூட இருக்கும். Otherwise, it's easy to get it killed. For which we need to, every person has to find, அது ஒருத்தருக்கு டான்ஸ்ல இருக்கலாம், ஒருத்தருக்கு பாட்டுல இருக்கலாம், ஒருத்தருக்கு நாடகத்துல இருக்கலாம், இல்ல ஒருத்தருக்கு நல்ல பேச்சு கேட்கறதுல இருக்கலாம், ஒரு நல்ல புத்தகங்கள் படிக்கிறதுல இருக்கலாம். It could be through anything, but we need to find what is that which gives us that release, and we should consciously pursue it. சும்மா ஒரு புக்கை படிச்சுட்டு தூக்கி போடுறதுனால ஒன்னும் ஆக போறது இல்லை. But if you really put your mind and look for answers for your own self from that practice, then it will.
Yeah, and I think this kind of conversation is a conversation that not many people are even very aware about. You see, a lot of people are in that rat race of just doing what needs to be done, going through without even stopping for a bit and getting these questions of who am I, and actualizing what is my purpose and why am I doing this, whatever I am going through, I kind of relate to you greatly when you said when you went through a lot of pain. See, all of us, like you mentioned, all of us are going through a huge number of challenges of late. I think it is not just which is happening to few of us. I think the whole world is going through so much of things which is happening internally, which all of us are masking it. Okay, we are we are trying to overachieve or compensate on other things while numbing ourselves with whatever things that it is enough so that everyone around us, the society accepts us, so that you just go on. But I think at one point, things will get a little too overwhelming, and like you said, you were so blessed to actually be guided to things which really brought you into alignment, which was yoga, dance, and that was a very effective way of expressing and letting that outlet go instead of doing any other thing. So in this lockdown period, right, all of them are having just so much of pent up energy, much of pent up energy, and can't really much. They are sharing spaces with people which probably not very comfortable with for a long period of time, not able to go out. So how can we at home start to use probably body and our very body or sound or even stories to start slowly releasing? Do you have any take about that? Will you put that up?
Sure. See, first thing I want to say is there's difference in the way we exercise. See, the whole world knows that we have to exercise. Okay, so we need to exercise, we need to work out and show it off on Facebook, upload a video. Now this whole idea, that idea itself is going out of you. Okay, so if you really want to go inside of you, then even I have gone through this rat race of gym pona எனக்கு கரெக்டா இருக்குமா, இல்ல வெறும் யோகா பண்ணா கரெக்டா இருக்குமா, or should I lift weights, or should I strength train? Now all of this is just probably if you have a requirement and you do something and then get it done, that's fine. But if you have to really align with your own self, what suits you, what suits your attitude, what suits your which actually frees your body, more than anything. It could be strength training, it could be running for somebody, it could be walking for somebody, but all of edu vena irkalam, but you need to find what is that one way of moving body which actually aligns you from within. Okay, what we like, what we enjoy is one thing, but we need to find what is that one way of moving body with which you align internally. For example, many years I've tried, of course I've done a lot of dance from childhood, and I have done nadagam a bit. I was introduced to a little bit of parkour, a little bit of kalari, all those things, a little bit of silambam walk, all that I was introduced to when I was in theatre. So idella, not that I've mastered all of it, but I have tasted everything, and I've tasted how it feels on my body, what I like, what I don't like, I definitely know. as we try a lot of things, only come to know what suits you, one, and the second thing is what calms your mind internally when you do it. There could be some movements which might disturb you internally, which you may not like, which you may reject mentally. I'm not talking about pushing your limits. It's about what aligns with you internally. So that way, much later after trying everything, what really aligns with me inside is yoga. Okay, and a 12 round of Surya Namaskar to me really calms my mind down. I am somebody who's very restless. I have no patience. It's something which I'm working on constantly in my life. But for me, only after doing 12 rounds of Surya Namaskar, I can sit down and do a round of mantra japa. Okay, so that's what suits me. And like that, each one has to find out before you sit for a meditation, if you have the habit of sitting for a meditation, uh, directly sit for meditation and see how you feel, or do a round of workout, what aligns you internally, and then sit for a meditation and then see what is the alignment, inner alignment, and consciously think about it.
How deep
Consciously
you can
think about it. How
meditation.
deep you.
The way you travel within itself, it's somehow.
Yeah. It's very hard. First of all, we may not even. It's not so easy to look into yourself, especially your body. Your mind may say you're lazy. No, you don't have so much strength now. That's why you're doing this. All those layers have to peel off. You need to go through all the stages, and finally, you will know deep within what kind of movement gives you that kind of alignment. And even in Bharatanatyam, I would say there are certain compositions which aligns with me internally so much, some doesn't. Some which I totally repel. This happens. Which happens.
And what like aligns, for people who know a little bit of Bharatanatyam, maybe they will be able to relate. So, like, what kind of compositions put you in a state where you feel like, look, you're coming back to yourself, and some like getting disintegrated, becoming.
I think as I grew up, I realized I'm a person who enjoys bhava, emotions, and in fact, even in dance, I like the storytelling part more. So of course, I like nritta. Dance is not without nritta, the pure dance form of it, but I'm somebody who enjoys performing the story of a Kannappar or the story of a Neelakanta, or the story of a Saki waiting, to send message to Muruga. The story, unraveling the story part of it and emoting it is something which I enjoy. That's when I realized I'm more of a theatre person than my heart was more in theatre than in dance. So, which is a newfound awareness, because you won't know it when you're 16 or 17. You're just doing it because you've been doing it for many years. You do it no matter what. Your teacher says you have to do it. That's all. Your guru says you ought to do it. It's a different process. But then as you grow, you want to dwell only things in which you give your 100% and with which you resonate totally. And when I moved into that space, then I realized, okay, let me dwell more in this space. So what I love doing in dance is more of bhava and certain types of nritta. I like Jatiswarams. I like Varnam Lavara. Second half, I always find it beautiful because first half will be Jati and Sahityam alternating. The second half will be more of Swaram and Sahityam Swaram. So which goes more into a flow. That's what I love about. I always like Varnam's second halves than the first halves. So people who dance know that.
Yeah.
So I have certain preferences even when I do, and I like Tilanas. I like Javalis, certain padams and Javalis. Yeah.
Nice. This is something, some revelation I had recently, like how you were saying, sometimes you have to be aware of what works for you. And I also think that during different phases of your life and during different things which you are going through, you may need different kind of movements to align yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
I have come to recognize. So I'm a person who, discovered yoga of me, and I felt like I'm a person who the first time I did yoga with a proper guru, I was like weeping, crying, I was like that on the mat. So things are working. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's something that was really, really like it's like life changing for those who do yoga on a regular basis. I think if you're found it, you're like blessed, and
Yeah.
if you've found a teacher who you can connect to and somebody who guides you, that's like their level. But like at
Yeah.
sometimes you don't like for me, I'm not giving reasons, all right. There are days that you don't have the energy to even do a Surya Namaskar. That means you're not even vibrating at that level. So I have a feeling that or in fact, Bharatanatyam for that matter, it's like not everyone can dance it, right? It's like you have to do so much of tapas. You have to do so many years of
Long years.
before you
Long
can actually
years.
do that process of standing like a goddess. Because when you actually strike that pose, you're not embodying that kind of
Yeah.
and that makes you feel. They say like this pose makes you immediately confident, Madri, and all these dances actually kind of brings out that goddess in
It's
you.
true.
And
Yeah, if they have gone through a good training, if they have gone through a good training under a good guru, those disciples are the lucky ones, because still I would say predominantly teachers teach dance and students dance. It's more about the show of what you're doing and all of that. But if a teacher can push you beyond that to experience the true feeling of dancing for you feeling that deity. இப்போ சிவா மேல ஆடும்போது உண்மையிலேயே உன்னால கேன் யூ வேண்டி ஆட முடியுமா? கேன் யூ ஃபார் மீ ஆஃப் லேட் டான்ஸ் எப்படி ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா, I enjoy doing a particular varnam on Shiva, கருணை நீ செய்ய வேண்டும், நாட்டக்குறிஞ்சி வர்ணம்ல. My teacher's choreography, Ranjitanas. So the verses go like கருணை நீ செய்ய வேண்டும் இது சமயம். அதை வந்து of course you know how many times they sing the same sahityam, same lines in a Bharatanatyam dance composition. So I உண்மையிலேயே நான் வேண்டி ஆடி இருக்கேன். For me, as a devotee of Shiva, I have really எனக்காகவே வேண்டி கூட I have done. So I think it's because of the teacher. If they can take you to that level to experience it. I'm not saying I'm a fantastic dancer, I am like there or anything, but at least he made me experience what an art can be with true devotion. So Adonde, it's truly in the hands of the teachers whom you learn from. Yeah,
that's really, really nice. So we talked about movement. Now, how does sound? What is your perception about sound? Now, how does sound also help in the conditioning of the mind? What is your take on that?
See, I'm somebody for a very large part of my life. Dance na, you dance for music. This is what we understand, okay, all of us. யாருமே இருந்தாலும் சினிமாக்கு பாட்டு போட்டா யூ டான்ஸ் அட் ஹோம், ஒரு பாட்டு போட்டா ஒரு டான்ஸ் ஆடணும், நீ மியூசிக் இருந்தாதான் யூ மூவ், ஓகே. பட் இஃப் யூ பிரேக் டவுன் டான்ஸ்ன்ற ஒரு ஆஸ்பெக்ட் பிரேக் டவுன் பண்ணி மூவ்மெண்ட் போட்டா, வாட் மூவ்ஸ் அஸ் இன் லைஃப், மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த திங்ஸ் ஆர் இன் சைலன்ஸ். Okay, so a lot of actions which we take, comes from some contemplation in silence. A lot of major decisions we take comes from silence. In fact, if there is no silence, you can't even appreciate sound. And only when you have sound will you crave for some silence. Silence and sound is like, they can't exist without each other. You can't say I will only be in silence, you need sound, but in sound you will crave for silence. So இதுவுமே எனக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான ஒரு விஷயம். அதனாலதான் I have worked on it consciously. தானவே if somebody is very silent within themselves, no, why would they go around searching for it? Why would they go around talking for it? Because I never had silence. I still don't have completely. I am craving and I'm working towards it. That's why it's so much of my botheration. As I said, I'm very less patient, and I'm quite restless, and I easily lose interest on things. Initially இருக்கிற energy வந்து will fizzle out. This has been my nature all my life, and after it came to a heightened awareness, I am able to reduce it, and I'm reducing it because in dance probably what my Ranjitana told and intended me to do, I may not have done, but he taught me silence and sound and movement to understand it in a much greater sense that I'm trying to apply in my life. So, ஒரு நாளைக்கு if we can't sit in silence for some time, I think I'll go mad. இப்போ வந்து it's like a powerhouse time for me, because sitting that 10 minutes in silence Anyway, there's a small suggestion I can tell to the listeners. So every day, if you have the practice of meditating, even if you don't have, you can sit in a place calmly. Uh, Choose a spot which is very conducive for that. Just sit in a place and align your spine to be very straight. Goon podama. I want your spine to be very straight and erect. Sanjalum paravala, but it has to be straight. Start paying attention to sounds which are far away, and then you will slowly start hearing one sound from a very far distance. Pay attention to it, and then move to another sound which is also again from a very far distance. Pay attention to it, and then move. இந்த மாதிரி ரொம்ப தொலைவுல இருந்து வர சத்தத்துக்கு ஆக்சுவலி நீங்க இப்ப கேட்டா அது உங்க காது கேட்காது. Unless you really pay attention to hear, you really can't hear. But if you focus, you can hear that sound. So pay attention to the sound for some time. Switch from one sound to another for some time. And then once you're done with 2-3 sounds, which is far away from you, move to the sounds which are closer. உங்க ரூமோட ஃபேன் சத்தம், probably somebody banging the door, probably உங்க கார் பார்க்ல இருந்து ஏதாவது ஒரு சத்தம் வந்துட்டே இருக்கலாம். So ஒரு constant soundsக்கு again move from one to another, one to another. This focus, zoom in, zoom out madri. If you zoom in and zoom out with sounds, this is a very scientific practice which is developed to help you meditate. It will actually silence your mind. You will fall into a vacuum spot and then you will just be still. This is one of the most powerful practices which has helped me personally, and it really has helped me a lot. I used to be even more like frenzy when I was younger. Calm down so much more because of this practice. When I was on and off argo effect. But if you continuously do it, you will see a major difference. So this, yeah.
Right? And I see to a great extent, people who are bubbly and I think you're also extrovert, right? So
yeah.
After a point, then other people telling you yourself will have this thing. So I think whatever you're doing and whatever you're sharing and whatever journey that you have had to go through was necessary so that you discover this thing.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
I think where the greatest revelations start to open up. Like they say, you have to go through some amount of pain or some kind of darkness to find the light, right?
Exactly.
And then you find it, then you can become a torch and shine it on so many people, and then everybody can light up as well. So yeah, I recognize the divine in you, and I wanted to tell you that I acknowledge it, appreciate the divine in you. Yeah. So wow, that was quite an intense discussion. Now,
Abdiya, okay.
Really seriously, thank you so much. Showing up for yourself. I'm very grateful for that.
Not supposed to.
Yes, I was waiting for that.
A person who wanted to create a message and impact through laughing, singing, and dancing. Laughing, dance, story, right? So
yeah. I don't know. It's with what you have, in mind as well. Yeah, laughing, dance. Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. Let's talk about story from your perspective.
Sure. Yeah, so எனக்கு வந்து ஸ்டோரி எப்படின்னா சந்திரமுகி படம் பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா நீங்க? Okay, so whoever has watched Chandramukhi can relate to this. So in Chandramukhi, what happens to Jyotika is அவங்க படிக்கிற கதையெல்லாம் மாதிரி அப்படியே அவங்க ரொம்ப imagine பண்ணி and then finally she loses her mind and she becomes Chandramukhi. So at one point even I was like that. So in college when I used to study, so மேல மேக்ஸ் புக்கா இருக்கும், கீழே ஃபுல்லா பொன்னியின் செல்வன், சிவகாமி சபதம், அப்படியெல்லாம் அப்படியே ஒரு கனவு உலகத்துல சாப்பிடாம தூக்கம் எதுவும் இல்லாம அப்படியே வேற உலகத்துல I used to roam around. And then many years later, you won't believe, I was actually that Pungurali on stage in a forest, and chasing Vandiyathevan. So that's when I believed in the law of attraction. What your soul truly craves, without logic, without a reasoning, I think it comes true. And it happened with me with regard to my theater and my encounter with Ponniyin Selvan.
Police.
That's how indulgent I am in a story. And once நாடகம் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் எல்லா கதை படிக்கிறவங்களுக்கும் ஒரு இமேஜினேஷன் இருக்கும் அந்த கதையை பத்தி. அவங்க ஒரு குந்தவை, அவங்க எல்லா கதாபாத்திரங்களையும் அவங்க ஒரு மாதிரி இமேஜின் பண்ணி வச்சிருப்பாங்க. பட் when I was seeing the rehearsals, எந்த கேரக்டருமே நான் நினைச்ச மாதிரி பிளே பண்ணல. Okay, and my director was directing the characters in a very different way. That was a huge revelation for me, because how you embody a character on stage and how you engulf the character and make it part of your system. Actually நான் நாடகத்துல நான் பண்ணி கத்துக்கிட்டதை விட மத்தவங்களை பார்த்து கத்துக்கிட்டது தான் ஜாஸ்தி. So that's when I realized how a character can teach you, how a character can change what's in your body, how a character can change the way you think, how people who approach stories like that can really influence your life. That's when I truly knew the influence of stories. And sorry, and another very influence for me is my husband Jagan. So he's a voracious reader, and he's a lover of stories, and he's a drama guy himself. So I think at 19 I met him, and his influence has been so much with regard to stories and everything. I brought to story வந்து ஏன் என்னோட why is it part of my workshop, I would like to say, now reading, listening to story and telling, இந்த மூணு ஹேபிட்டுமே வந்து has almost perished. I don't know how many people say என்ன மாதிரி ட்ரெய்னர் சொல்வாங்களா இருக்கும், இல்ல some spiritual gurus சொல்வாங்களா இருக்கும், or these big stage speakers will tell stories and listen. பட் ஒரு நடைமுறை வாழ்க்கையில ஒரு வீட்டுல ஒரு அம்மாக்கும் ஒரு குழந்தைக்கும், ஒரு பாட்டிக்கும் ஒரு பேர பசங்களுக்கும், ஒரு தெரு ஒரு பூக்காரம்மாவுக்கும் ஒரு பூ வாங்குற வர்றவங்களுக்கும், இல்ல ஒரு கடத்தெருல ஒரு அந்த எவ்ரிடே சம்பாஷணையில கதைகள் பரிமாற்றம் அப்படின்ற ஒரு கான்செப்ட் வந்து போயிடுச்சு. அண்ட் ஏன்னா படிக்கணும், வாசிப்பு அப்படின்றது ரொம்ப கம்மியாயிடுச்சு இல்லையா. ஸோ ஐ திங்க் தட்ஸ் வாட் இஸ் dwindling that whole culture. And my vision is to revive that culture in every home, because my home has that culture. Me, my husband and my children read every single day, and that bonds our family together. Okay, and I know what amount of effect it has on the child. Okay, even if for me என்னன்னா art as an art sake itself is அது மட்டுமே இருந்தாலே போறோம். அதுக்கு மேல அது என்ன கொடுத்தாலும் அது போனஸ் தான். Okay, and அதுக்கு மேல அது நிறையவும் கொடுக்கும். So I'm here to present to you two stories. Okay, so I think with that I'm going to read and also tell, not completely telling. I'm going to show you these illustrated books. I'm a lover of illustrated books, and எனக்கு கதைகள் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். இந்த ரெண்டு ஸ்டோரிஸும் வந்து it really touched me in the recent times. So I want to read it to you along as I turn the pages. Okay,
oh my God.
Shall we go?
Thank you so much. Please.
Yeah. So I was in a workshop very recently, and then we were going through a particular theatre workshop. We were going through a particular process, and then suddenly one of my teammates just exploded with a story, and I fell in love with it, and that was The Mountain That Loved a Bird. Okay,
take it away.
So it's written by Alice McLaren, illustrated by Stephen Aitken. இது வந்து எரிக் கார்லே illustrate பண்ண வெர்ஷனும் இருக்கு, அது இல்ல, but I thought this was even more beautiful, so I got this on Amazon. The story starts like this. There was once a bare mountain in the middle of a desert plain. All that the mountain could feel, is the warmth of the sun and the chillness of the rain and snow. It stood alone day and night. But one day there appeared a bird, and that bird just circled around the mountain, and then finally took a spot on the mountain. The mountain was really taken aback and surprised, because he had not seen anything like this fall from the sky. So the mountain asked the bird, "Who are you? And what is your name?" And the bird said, "I'm a bird, and my name is Joy. I come in search of a place to nest and raise my children every spring. And in my search, I found you." And then the mountain said, "Oh, I've never felt or seen anything like you. Would you stay?" அப்படின்னு அந்த mountain கேக்குது. But the bird says, looks around the mountain and says, there is not a drop of water, there is not a blade of grass. I can't stay. Probably I'll visit you some other time. And the mountain says, oh, so will you visit me sometime? The bird says, you're asking me to stay and you're asking me if I can visit you again. No mountain has ever bothered to ask me to stay. But since you are asking, probably I'll come next spring, but I must leave now. I can't stay because there's nothing for me to, eat and survive. You mountains can live forever. I'm a living being. I can't stay. And then the bird flies away. The bird comes back few springs, and then the mountain again asks, will you stay this time? And the bird says, no, I can't stay. I must leave. Probably I can make this promise to you. It says, since you've become a friend of mine now, when I give birth, I will name one of my birds, daughter birds, the name Joy. So when I die, my daughter will come and she will give birth to a daughter whom she will name Joy. So forever you will have a Joy who will be visiting you. Is that okay? The bird asks, and then the mountain agrees, okay. 99 springs. Joy comes and goes and comes and goes and comes and goes for 99 springs, okay? And then 99 springs she comes and goes. And for 99 springs, the mountain longs and longs and longs and longs. Won't this bird stay forever with me? And then his heart grows larger and larger and larger and larger with pain. And on the 100th spring, when the bird leaves, his heart breaks. And then he bursts into tears, and then the whole mountain flows with streams of water from his tears. The Joy keeps coming back every spring. The next spring, when she comes and when she sees the water flowing, she drops a seed in one of the cracks. And then the next spring, she comes and drops. So the streams of water flow. Once she sees, she drops a seed. Okay? And then the next spring, it slowly starts growing. And then these roots start penetrating the mountain rocks slowly and slowly and slowly. The rocky mountains just start to, wither away. And slowly the greenery finds its way into the mountain. So Joy keeps coming, dropping seeds again and again and again. The mountain turns into a beautiful green place, but the mountain is still not aware. He's still crying every time the bird is going away and away and away. But finally, when the roots reach the bottom of his heart, that's when he realizes he has turned so green and so happy, and that's when his painful tears turn into happy tears. The mountain looks around himself now happily, and when he turns happy, again the bird senses it. She comes back this time, and then she says, I'm Joy, I've come here. This time she's not brought a seed to drop and leave. She brings a twig to come here and build a nest in the very first seed she dropped, which has grown into the largest tree in the mountain. Then she has come to stay here now. And that's the story of the mountain which loved a bird.
Wow! What an experience! Thank you so much.
Now, so this is a story which really touched me because people think that illustrated stories and books like these are for children. Let me tell you, these are not just for children. Okay, on the outside, maybe it's entertaining for children, but it is more for the adults who read it to them. And I love these kind of stories because what amount of philosophy is underlying this? When you reach your true self and when you are ready to be vulnerable, when you are ready to show your love, that's when people will come near you and return back that love to you. And it's such a philosophical story. I love this story. So we need to look for stories which touch us, and as we come across and read, first of all, develop the habit of reading. stories and indulging in them. And if we develop a perspective to learn from stories, learn from characters, it can turn into a very, very fantastic practice, and it will become your way of life. It's become a way of life for me now. So my intention is to introduce this as a way of life, as a practice to people, and make it part of their families and systems so that they live an enriching life and a happy life.
A suggestion, may I give a suggestion? I really think you should come online and, during this lockdown, you have such a gift to read stories, and if you can actually, if you have enough, just come and do a couple of stories. It really took me on a journey, okay? So I think you should share this gift, and, a lot more people will benefit out of just, going through that journey and experiencing whatever that they need to experience through the story, and watching themselves. So yeah, that's something that I would love to suggest you. And
so I have a post series called Movement Monday, Sound Wednesday, and Story Friday on Facebook, Instagram. So I do share stories on Fridays. So today is Story Friday. I didn't post it because I wanted to tell this live with you, and then I will post it tonight before I go to sleep.
Wow!
So this is the story for this Friday. So I'll post it on Instagram and my Facebook accounts.
Okay, so again, a Movement Monday,
Sound Wednesday, and a Story Friday.
Okay, so everyone who's listening and who's tuned in, we will go to Vanmadi's page on Facebook.
Yeah.
What is his name on Facebook? Is it the same name?
Yeah, Vanmadi Jagan, yeah.
Okay, so Vanmadi Jagan, and then follow her there. And those who are listening to the podcast as well, I really wish you go follow her and watch her magic as she was doing. It was really a wonderful experience. Beautiful, really, really
Thank
beautiful.
You.
Right. So, what an experience. Thank you so much for that. Right. So I want to ask you, have you done a vision board before? See, you already told me that you are a person who believes the law of attraction. Have you watched The Secret and all that, right?
Yes, very much.
So have you done a vision board before?
Yes. Once I have done. Yes.
Once. So can I suggest that during this lockdown, together as a family, do it as a family activity. Do one more. What has your personal understanding been about the vision board?
What I understand from creating a vision board is what we truly desire to be and become and want in life. We need to be constantly tuned to that frequency. We tend to get distracted. So when we make a vision board of what we badly want in our life, okay, so when you make a visual representation of it and you fix it in a place where your eyes will go regularly, I think it's a constant putting yourself back on track, removing the distractions and tuning yourself to the frequency of inviting the things which we want in life. So I think, we all know that our visual senses are much more stronger than any other sense. So what we visually perceive, gets stored more. So, and hence visually putting that representation makes us consciously think about it all the time, tune back to the same frequency, and hence vision board works.
So if I just wanted to share that I took it up as my personal mission to create 1,000 vision boards with just various people. It's not my idea, it's an idea which has been always, but I just wanted to make this like a movement where everybody starts doing their vision board. Because a lot of people know about the concept, however, they don't get into the action plan of really.
I know.
So it's like, நான் ஸ்டிக்கர் வாங்கணும், எனக்கு க்ளூ கிடைச்சோன்னு, இல்ல அந்த போர்டு வேணும், I don't have the correct. We are always procrastinating. So
yes.
What I will do was what I designed was like a workshop myself where we will laugh, sing, dance, be on our highest state, and I'll leave all the materials there. Where you sit and create this together. When you put a time frame that you have to finish it in 30 minutes or 45 minutes left, you have no choice. So by the time you go back, you come for the workshop, you're going back with a vision board. This is something that I would.
Very nice. I saw it on your Instagram story highlight la irundhu nenikiren. It looked like wow, very nice. It was very beautiful to create an atmosphere to to focus all your energy to just come and do it. I think it's a fantastic initiative and a movement. Yeah.
Yeah. So my intention during this lockdown is to tell people you don't have to really come to the party to do it. Like right now, since you're sitting at home and those who are watching right now, do a vision board. Really, with your family and involve them. Kids are young, ask them to cut a couple of pictures that they like, paste it there, and put it and watch the magic unravel and just be in the state of receiving. Because already you opened the channels, right? So you're already just going to receive the great something that I want to share. So to all my guests who comes on the show, I usually have this exercise called the billboard exercise. Okay, wow. Now let's there's this huge billboard, okay, wow, in Gemini flyover, and you are on the billboard. Okay, Vanmati, நீங்க தான் இருக்கீங்க அந்த billboardல.
Super.
யார் உங்க கூட இருக்காங்க, நீங்க என்ன போட்டிருக்கீங்க, என்ன கலர் வேர் பண்றீங்க, எங்க இருக்கீங்க, what is the message, what is written on the billboard, what is the message the billboard is saying there. Just go into yourself for a couple of probably 10 seconds and then tell me what is the first thing that pops up. Think about it for a while and then now this is your billboard, okay? In the same billboard, it's going to be in New York, it's going to be in Kuala Lumpur, everywhere. Okay. So have you got that image?
Yeah. So you want me to tell who I am with on a billboard with? I don't know. I am with Kamal Haasan. I don't know why he came to my mind, and as you were telling, I'm in a green shimmery dress. Okay, very well dressed, with good makeup, nice hairdo. I'm in a long green shimmery dress, looking probably like an award show or something. I am standing next to Kamal Haasan, and he's also there, and that's the billboard. I think it's an advertisement for an award ceremony, and I'm there. I think I'm hosting it, and I think I'm sharing the stage with Kamal Haasan. That's the billboard I see.
Fantastic, excellent. Now you have created your vision board, okay? Wow. And I'm sending you all power, all love, all joy, everything that you need so that it comes through as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. Yeah, beautiful. It was a very quick one, huh? Very, very interesting. Such a quick one, and there's not much time to think. So I think that's what you badly need.
You don't have to put too much effort because you really know.
I think when we think too much, we mess up. Sometimes our mind comes into
it will be clear, and then you will work towards it. Okay.
Yeah.
And somehow when you hold that image long enough, you will watch yourself.
Yeah, change.
Right? So yeah, that's
true.
Is there anything that you would like to ask me,
what made you actually in the conversations with people, Ilya, this is something which I've been contemplating in my head for a long time. I like to interview people. நிறைய காரணங்களுக்காக நிறைய பேரை மீட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு தோணிருக்கு ஒரு 4-5 வருஷமாவே. Need to speak to them about their journey. Need to speak to them about எனக்கு என்ன கேட்கணுமோ அவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து அதெல்லாம் கேட்கணும் அப்படின்னு. How did you come up with this idea? Why did you start this conversations with people? What made you? I had a need. Why I wanted to? Enna need na? I was in a place in life where I didn't know what to do with myself. Okay, so I wanted to speak to people who are resonating in high energies, who are doing well in pursuing some path, so that I find my path. For which I really wanted to be. Actually, I have done that. When I felt very low, I just called up Swarnamalya Ganesh one day because she had just finished her research thesis. She has just performed her research work in Music Academy. I called her up just to pep up my spirits. I asked her if I can come and meet you and speak to you. I went, had a real conversation with her about her work and everything. Nothing personal. I spoke to her and then I came back. And then I really wanted to do that with several people, but that didn't happen. So I want to know what was your need, yeah.
So before I answer that, start now. Start your conscious conversation with Vanmati. Talk to people. Nothing should stop you. There is enough space and enough opportunity for everyone to excel. And I really want to see you on your show quickly. And hopefully I'll be able to tune into one of those Instagram when you do it. So I'm going to hold you accountable to that, okay?
Sure. Sure, yeah. Thank you.
Your question is, as a very young child, okay, I had this ஒரு கர்மிக் பாஸ்ட் லைஃப்ல முடிக்கல போல. So சின்ன வயசுல இருந்து I used to sign my name as பத்மஸ்ரீ தத்தோ டாக்டர் கார்த்திகான் தான்.
Okay.
These very big, hairy, audacious dreams நம்மளுக்கு இருந்தது, ஓகேவா? And I always will tell people, I am the next Oprah, I am the next Oprah, I am the next Oprah. ரொம்ப தைரியமா எல்லாருக்குமே சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கேன். And I kind of made it into my life. From a young age, I kind of wanted to be in the spotlight. Not for me, because I know that if I would be there, if God would put me there, I would be able to help a lot of people. And try to be at that space through my journey, through my learning, through whatever challenge I go through, I'll be able to do a lot of people. So this is something that I'm very highly inspired by Oprah. So I knew that eventually I want to speak to people and stuff like that. So I don't know, I guess lockdown was just a blessing in disguise, and this thing started. I already 10 years down the lane, I probably will be there. So all these are just preparatory work towards that.
Preparatory work, but definitely beautiful, actually. Even I now that you told, I also will happily share. I think from school days, I somehow loved to host a show. I always fancied this idea of hosting a show, hosting people, and not in a very showy kind of a way, but in a very intelligent kind of way, bringing out best conversations, something very interesting. Exactly. So and that want has never left me. I have been into 2-3 mediums of எல்லாமே பார்த்தா டான்ஸா இருக்கட்டும், தியேட்டரா இருக்கட்டும், ட்ரைனிங்கா இருக்கட்டும், 3 மீடியமுமே when I thought about it, it's all about, they were all mediums which helps me express myself. I think I've always been in want of something like that, and I always see hosting a show or coming in conversations with people will be the epitome of that. And I'm working towards that, Letty.
So I'm going to hold you accountable towards that, okay? If you need any help with how to set up a podcast or what, just reach out to me. I've done 42 episodes. So it took me a long time to figure out how to do a podcast. But once you know it, it's quite easy. So if you need, just need, how to do it, I'll just share that knowledge to you. And I want to see as many people become successful. That's my biggest dream, is to have everyone around me successful and joyful and celebrating. So that's something that
beautiful. What an energy! It's rare to find people who spread joy, happiness, and energy. Really, and you are a bundle of that. Thank you, actually, for having me on your show.
Thank you
so much for coming on this show. One last thing before you leave is, do you know of anyone who you think would be a good guest on my show, who will be able to share our story and get people thinking and be of service? And
I can think of a lot of people. Telling one is the problem now. Actually, I can message you more than 1 or 2 people. Definitely.
Next week, and then we will we'll do that, and let people keep knowing different people. And I would like to bring more people like you into the show and just be of service.
Thank you. Sure, I'll put you across to people.
But there's so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All the best for your dreams and all the best for my dreams. Let the universe just bring in the energies and let it come.
But if she
Definitely coming true. All right. This is the last Dance Story. I am Special K, and we are signing out with Vanmati Jagan.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.